Let's move on to our late round wide receiver dreams. These are wide receivers we're drafting in the later rounds, 10th round or later. Keone, you want to start us off?
Sure. So I have some stats here compiled by our very own Ryan Williams for our Saturday post we do, which include facts about specific players. So this one is about Marvin Jones Jr., one of the early ones we did. And since 2013, Marvin Jones Jr. has 405 receptions, which is 20th in the league, 5,824 yards, which is 19th in the league. He has 50 receiving touchdowns, which is 7th, and potentially the most important, he has 4 top 25 finishes for a wide receiver at the end of the season. So that's at least half in since that time. And I see him being drafted with an ADP in the 11th round in a few places. However, I think we have him a bit higher in about like the 7th or 8th round. So he is a 7th or 8th round talent, but if you can get him in the 11th round, that's even better. And that's why I have him here, because you're getting is a steal basically at that level. And I know he has a young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, but I think he can act as that veteran wide receiver who's that stalwart for the offense. He's a go-to guy whenever Lawrence might get in trouble or what have you. And he's been making some nice plays in the preseason, some contested catches. So he's still got those hops and able to get away from a receiver. And
from a cornerback.
Yeah, from a cornerback. And I think he can be a guy that gets a lot of frequency, like in the offense. And if he could potentially be the number one in that offense, we'll see how, like DJ Chark, what he says about that. But I think he can be the guy. And over the past 2 years, he's been averaging 5 catches per game and around 60 yards per game. So in regular PPR, that's like 10-point week, and that's without touchdowns. So that's a pretty solid guy you're getting in the 11th round.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go next. I got Michael Pittman Jr. from the Indianapolis Colts, going as the 46th wide receiver in the middle part of the 10th round. Pittman can make a huge leap in year 2. No more Phillip Rivers, who can't throw the ball 10 yards down the field. Carson Wentz, like we just talked about, is going to be back, and he is now behind center, and he's willing to throw the ball down the field. Something I was really excited to see Michael Pittman do in the NFL that we didn't really get to see a whole lot of last year. He's a big-bodied guy, 6'4", 225, and could be a wide receiver 1 on this team. There's no wide receiver 1 really in Indianapolis yet, as T.Y. Hilton has taken some steps back, and no one has truly filled that role yet. I think that Pittman can be a great deep threat. He can be a shot in the dark here in the 10th round, where he has so much upside. And if you play in 3 wide receiver leagues, you're going to be starting Michael Pittman in that 3rd wide receiver slot all season long. So I'm willing to take the draft and take the chance and draft Michael Pittman. Ryan, who you got?
Hey, I got Mike Williams. Mike Williams right now is being drafted in the 10th round, and he's the absolute beast. 8 of 15 games, he had 7 or more targets. Last 3 years, he's averaged 17.2 yards per catch. And also in 2020, he had 13 catches with 20 plus yards. And the thing is, for me, I love the Charger offense. Everyone knows how I'm on the hype train. It's an easier stack to get the Herbert hype train with Mike Williams in 10th and Keenan Allen and Herbert. And Mike Williams is the second option on this offense. He's had horrible touchdown luck. 3 years ago, he had 10 touchdowns. And last 2 years, it was 5 and 2. He's 6'4". He should not be getting 2 touchdowns or red zone targets. But he is at least in the number 1 offense in football in total plays ran. 2020. If they can be in the top 10 again, he's going to have the volume. People are a little scared he gets injured on dumb plays, like diving for balls he's not going to catch, and like he's already hurt right now. He has a hip flexor. But I think that's going to drop his ADP where it's even worth it still, because of the fact he is a number one. He's a number 2 option on a great offense. He's a deep threat. He's Deshaun Jackson, but he's 6'4". So I like Mike Williams a lot. I love Marvin Jones. Kelly talked about him. That's a great pickup as well. I try to get both one of these guys in each draft I'm in.
Yeah, there's quite a few guys in this later range. These are just 3 guys that we particularly enjoy. Let's name some more guys that we like. Like, I'm on that Michael Gallup hype train. If I can't get CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper earlier, I'm fine with waiting till the 10th round and grabbing Michael Gallup. We know producer Ian is high on Darnell Mooney. Who's some other players that you guys like in this later range?
Corey Davis. I think he might be the number 1 in the Jets offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've seen that in preseason. He's getting targeted pretty often. Good receiver. Not a great receiver, but he's a good receiver. Might give you some good flex weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. No, go for it. Who's
Jarvis Landry as well? That's another option. Pretty on an offense that should be pretty high powered, with Baker Mayfield and Odell and that running back core. They should do pretty well on offense. He's the second on that team, depending on where he and Odell fit in the scheme.
Would you guys rather have Marquise Brown or Rashad Bateman? Rashad Bateman's 2 rounds later now because of the injury.
Brown.
You'd rather have Brown?
Yeah, because Brown is ahead of him still, though, right? I mean, like, he's still the number 1.
Yeah. I mean, right now, yeah. I think Bateman takes that pretty soon.
Huh.
It's a groin, right?
Yeah. And I think if it wasn't for the injury, then he would overtake Brown by week 2 or 3. But because of the injury, I think it becomes later on in the season.
Groins, hamstring, calves.
Scary.
Man, it's just too much for me, bro. I would have to stay away the whole time. I can't. If he gets hot, mate, and I have enough draft or enough fab, or I'm high enough on the waiver wire, I'll pick him up. But I just don't think I could draft this guy.
All right, I feel it.
Hey you, check out some of these other cool videos we have, as well as subscribe and click that bell. It really helps our channel out. And don't forget to stay dreamin'.